Are you aware that all organisms, even the largest like the elephants and the whales, start their life from a single cell? You may wonder how a single cell leads to the formation of such a large organism. Growth and reproduction are characteristics of cell, indeed of all living organisms. Do you know all cells reproduce forming two daughter cells with each time they divide? This leads to a new cell population, that is, the cycles of growth and division allow a single cell to increase its number and change into a structure consisting of millions of cells. Let us discuss in detail how this whole process takes place. We are very familiar of what is cell division. Cell division is a very important process taking place in all living organisms. During this process, a cell grows, replicates its contents and at last divides. This events of cell dividing and replicating is called cell cycle. If we take the case of a eukaryotic cell, for example, a human cell, the cell takes approximately 24 hours to complete one cell cycle. However, this is the case of a human cell, but the duration of cell cycle may vary from one organism to another. A single cell organism multiplies quickly compared to a multi-cell organism. For example, yeast takes only 90 minutes to complete its cell cycle. Let's now see the different phases of cell cycle. A cell cycle basically can be divided into two phases, an interphase and a M phase, that is the mitotic phase, and it is followed by cytokinesis. Interphase is the largest phase. A cell remains in interphase for around 23 hours. M phase is the actual dividing phase and it lasts for less than an hour. So, what exactly happens inside a cell in this 23 hours of interphase? Interphase occupies more than 95% of the duration of cell cycle. The interphase can be further divided into three different phases, that is the G1 phase, the synthetic phase and the G2 phase. We'll now see what happens in these phases of interphase. In the G1 phase, the cell is highly metabolically active and continuously grow and increase its cell mass. This phase lasts for around 11 hours. Once the cell is fully grown, it enters the second phase of interphase, that is the synthetic phase. As the name says, DNA is synthesized and gets replicated in this phase. This phase lasts for around 8 hours. After the completion of this phase, a cell will have double the content of DNA. Now, the cell enters into the last phase of interphase, which lasts for 4 hours, and it is the G2 phase. So, what happens here? The cell is well grown, it has double the number of DNA. What's next then? The cell in this phase synthesizes protein that would be necessary for the process of cell division. This was all about the interphase. Now, the cell enters into the dividing phase, that is the mitotic phase or M phase. In this phase, the division of nucleus takes place. A mother nucleus gets divided into two daughter nuclei containing equal number of chromosomes. The division of nucleus is known as karyokinesis. this phase is again subdivided into 4 different phases. The details of the different phases of mitotic phase will be discussed in our next session. Well, what happens after the formation of 2 daughter nuclei? Once the nucleus is divided, the cells start dividing its cytoplasm and we call it as cytokinesis. Now, there are cells that undergo only one division cycle. Such cells after division do not enter G1 phase of interphase, rather they enter the G0 phase, that is the quiescent phase. In this phase, the cell no longer divides but remain metabolically active, performing the functions assigned to the cell. So this was about the phases of cell cycle. You have seen that once the nucleus of the cell is divided, it undergoes cytokinesis. So what do we call a cell as if it fails to divide after karyokinesis? Try to find out. Let's now summarize what we have learned.
Manorama Horizon. Learning made simple.